3 minutes or less. We're gonna learn how to pickle cucumbers and watermelon. All right. I'm making this video really for one reason, and it's really hard to find a video that's either less than 12 minutes or 60 seconds or less with enough information to actually do this. I do not feel like watching your 20-minute videos of you talking about yourself. So I'm gonna do 3 things at once. Number 1, this is our unripened watermelon. You can apparently pickle watermelon just like a pickle. I got 1 jar with jalapenos, 1 jar without. We'll go over the spice mixture here in a second. Number 2 is we're going to pickle some cucumbers in a water bath. We'll pickle the watermelon in the water bath as well. And the reason we're gonna do that is that so that they will keep in dry storage, so they do not need to be kept in the fridge. I already have a fridge full of brined cucumbers, which is what these are. So quickly, there's 2 of the ways that you can make 2 of the ways you can make pickles is you either do a salt water brine and you let them sit in the fridge for about 10 days, and then there'll be a delicious like a half sour pickle, which is my favorite, which is what these are. Or you can do essentially a combination of around about 2/3 water to 1/3 vinegar, and just put it in a water bath. So we'll just steam it for about 15 minutes and then it'll self-seal. So our spice mixture today is a combination of sea salt, peppercorns, dry dill today as opposed to fresh, coriander seed and mustard seed, as well as some bay leaf. We also smash up garlic and put that in the watermelon as well, apparently. So we'll see how that goes. And I put some jalapenos in one of these. So for ratio, these little pint-sized jars basically do a tablespoon of the sea salt and a teaspoon of everything else, maybe just 4 to 8 peppercorns. I don't need a full teaspoon. And then, just a couple of bay leaves to take away the bitterness. Another small tip, I cut the ends off of my cucumbers and how do I say this? I cut off the end of the cucumber while it's whole, and I do this little motion here, and I rub the tip, and all this white stuff comes out. And that is bitterness. So of all people, I learned that from my father-in-law. And we're gonna add our combination of, this is a water, vinegar, and sea salt mix. All right, so another tip I got, you wanna dry your glass rim as well as your lids before you put these on. And then once you do that, you wanna give it, shake it upside down a couple of times. That way you're getting the air bubbles out of between the fruit or the vegetables. You can poke at it with a knife before you put the lid on, but shaking it a little bit is probably gonna be just fine. All right, so I got the lid on. Give it a couple turns, get those spices mixed up, hopefully get some of the air bubbles out. One thing that's kind of inevitable is that the fruit or vegetable is going to float above the line, the water line. And some people will tell you to use some silicone weight and push all that crap down. It's not going to stay down, it's going to float. So I don't really see what the big deal is. Maybe it creates some kind of contamination. I'm not aware of that. But I'll let you know if these get contaminated. I'll be gone for a month, I'll be back, and that'll be a great test. All right, so we got our makeshift water bath going. I don't know if it's best to have the water over the lids or just under, but I can't put the water level any higher than this or it'll spill over like the first time I tried this. So the cucumber pickles, looks like the water is just above the rim, and with the watermelon, the quart size jars, it's just below the shoulder. So that is what we're doing for 15 minutes. Once the 15 minutes is done, we're gonna put these on the counter and let them cool. Online it said let them sit 24 hours. I'm gonna be gone in 24 hours. So I just hope that I can audibly hear the lids popping, which is suctioning them closed so that they'll stay good for months at a time. If I don't hear that, I will check them myself and push on the lid again once the bath is done, and it should not be making that popping sound, so it should be sealed tight. Another pro tip, I think the hardest thing about this whole process is removing the jars from your water bath. You burn yourself by messing with tongs and oven mitts, so be careful. My next investment will be into a can remover or whatever the hell it's called. So my biggest takeaway from learning how to can and pickle my own food is that it's not that hard. It's not as intimidating as I thought after a few YouTube videos, some good, some bad, is that all you really need is jars and good produce and maybe some white wine vinegar. Other than that, it's just a few seasonings, and you can do everything in regular pots. So, I mean, you see I got over here just some regular steaming and spaghetti pots, nothing complicated. And just a little bit of time. And they'll either end up preserved in your fridge or preserved on a shelf. And that's pretty much it. Last thing we're gonna do is try a bite. This is the saltwater brine pickle. This has no vinegar in it. These are the ones that I put in the fridge and let fermentate for 10 days. And these will need to stay in the fridge as opposed to these, which have vinegar and will get a water bath. Those will be able to dry store on the shelf. So these are the refrigerated ones. This is the kind that I personally prefer. I do not like kosher dill pickles from the store. I think they're too soft and just, I don't know, whether they're too sweet or whatever. They're never what I want. So I like these half pickles, as we call them back home, but I can't find these the way I like them anymore. But yeah, one bite. Everybody knows the rules. Yeah, these are a week past that 10-day brine period, and they're still fantastic. Apparently they'll last this way. They'll have that crunch for a couple months or more. So yeah, this is exactly what I'm looking for when I want a refreshing pickle snack. It's delicious, it's salty, it's crunchy. This is the first or second batch I ever made, and it's genuinely better than anything I've ever had from the store. So, all right, everybody. Benny caught a stray on the last video about the unripened watermelon. He didn't appreciate that very much from his daddy. He said, "Dad, I do so much for you. I'm a good working boy." And all you had to say was that I tried to long snap the watermelon across the yard. And then you got mad because you picked it too early because you don't know what the F you're doing. But that's not my fault. I basically made the watermelon grow 10 times faster, so you're welcome.